So, in the world of software, how do you take a simple idea from a user and make sure the feature you build is absolutely rock solid? We're going to dive into that crucial journey from a basic user story all the way to a thorough test scenario. It really all starts with this, doesn't it? A user has a pretty simple request. But how do we actually prove that the software doesn't just do what they asked, but does it reliably under all sorts of conditions?
Well, the answer really boils down to two key things. You've got the user story. That's the what. It's what the user needs, said in plain English. Then you have the test scenario. That's the how we check it. It's the QA team's blueprint for making sure that need was met and that the whole thing is built to last.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning, that initial wish from a user. This is the foundation for every single feature, and getting this part right is absolutely the first critical step. It's so easy to forget this, but behind every slick interface and all that complex code is just a simple human request. The user story is what captures that. It's not a bunch of technical jargon. It's a statement of a need, and it becomes our North Star for the entire development process. But here's the real challenge. Just following that North Star isn't quite enough. If you only build for the perfect user journey, what we call the happy path, well, that's just a recipe for disaster when things go wrong in the real world. And that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? A user story is optimistic. It describes a perfect world where users always click the right buttons and enter the correct info. But reality is messy. Users make typos, networks fail, unexpected things happen all the time. Our job is to plan for that chaos. This is exactly where the test scenario comes in. I want you to think of it as the architectural blueprint for your testing, the master plan for navigating all that potential chaos and making sure you're building quality software. Now, the really crucial thing to get here is that a test scenario isn't a super detailed step-by-step test case. Nope. It's a high-level description of what needs to be tested. The whole point is to cover the feature from every possible angle, thinking about all user expectations, even the ones they didn't explicitly mention. This login example makes the whole concept click instantly. The user story is simple. I want to log in. But look at the scenarios that come from it. We're not just checking if a valid login works. We're asking, what if the password is wrong? Does the forgot password link work? Is the password hidden when you type it? What happens if you time out? Each one of those questions becomes its own test scenario. Okay, so we get why it's valuable, but how do you actually do it? How do you systematically break down a simple story into a really comprehensive list of scenarios? Let's walk through the key steps. You see, it's a methodical process, not just guesswork. It starts with really understanding what the user wants. Then you put on your end user hat, thinking about both the good paths and the bad paths. Finally, you push the boundaries with edge cases and write it all down so the whole team is on the same page. Theory is one thing, but let's make this real. We're going to apply those 7 steps to this very common user story, resetting a password, and see what kind of testing blueprint we can build. And check it out. From just that one sentence, you get this rich set of scenarios. We have a positive test for a valid email, a negative test for an invalid one, and super critical security checks, like making sure the reset link actually expires. Suddenly, we're covering functionality, validation, and security, all from that one initial story. All right, now let's talk about what not to do. Knowing the process is one thing, but avoiding the common pitfalls, that's what really separates good testing from great testing. Even really experienced teams can stumble when they're designing tests. Let's break down 2 of the most common traps people fall into. Okay, 2 of the biggest mistakes are right here. First, just totally overlooking the negative paths. This means you only test for success, and the moment a user makes one tiny mistake, the system breaks. Defects just slip right into production. Second, ignoring non-functional checks. This leads to software that technically works, but it's slow, confusing, or insecure, which all adds up to a terrible user experience. So, we've covered the what, the how, and what to avoid. But let's bring it all home to the most important question. Why does this all matter? What's the real payoff for putting in this time up front? Oh, the payoff is immense. You get much better test coverage, of course, but even more importantly, you find gaps in the requirements before anyone even starts coding. This creates a clear scope that gets everyone, developers, product owners, the whole team, aligned. And because that high-level plan is set, writing the detailed test cases becomes dramatically faster. If you want to put the power of this into a single number, think about this. From just one sentence describing what a user wants, a thorough process can easily generate 8, 10, or even more critical scenarios. That's how you ensure you've covered everything. Ultimately, this whole process is what separates software that just kinda works from software that works reliably. It's how you build applications that can handle pressure, manage errors gracefully, and deliver an experience that users can consistently trust. So I'll leave you with this question to take back to your own work. Your feature works when you do everything right, on the happy path. But have you truly gone out and actively looked for the edges? Have you explored where it breaks? Because that's where true quality is forged.